binged Love Victor last week on Hulu, and I want to know about the audition process for the show for you. What that was kind of like.
Sure. The audition process, I remember getting the call and then going in, and it was just a normal audition. It was just me and one guy behind the camera, which those are always fantastic because there's not too much pressure. You get to play around, be yourself a bit more. But when there's like 7 people, it's way more intimidating. And then I did the audition. I got a producer session after that, which is super rare. Usually it goes from like audition to callback and then it goes on from there. But I went straight to producers, and I remember walking into the room and seeing George, who plays Benji, and basically, whoa, do you hear that?
No.
Why not? Anyway, where was I? Okay, so basically, I remember seeing George, right? And I thought he was going out for my part. And I'm like, shoot, that guy's handsome. And then I heard his accent, and I'm like, oh no, I'm so not getting this. And so I was thinking I was done for right then. And then I found out he was going out for Benji, so I was a little bit eased by that. And then I went in, I met Michael, and we did the scene. He was awesome, and we did it a couple times. I remember he kept on trying to leave for some reason. I thought the audition was done, and then they kept on being like, no, you're not done. I did that like 3 times.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was an awkward mess, but that's also the kind of the character, so it worked. And then yeah, I got it.
That's awesome. Do you kind of get nervous still? You mentioned that like it was like a different process for you. Do you get nervous each time?
Oh my gosh, so much. I don't think there's ever been an audition where I haven't been nervous. When you get in the room, like your nerves kind of settle, or they don't, and then that's a problem. But yeah, no, I out of the 9 years I've been doing this, I think I've been nervous each and every time. And it just means you care, you want to do a good job, you want to impress these guys. And sometimes you do, sometimes you definitely don't. And that's just the name of the game.
What was your first project that you worked on? Remember that far back.
Yeah, I mean, commercial. I did it. My first ever thing in front of a camera was Trivial Pursuit, which it was this small commercial, and we were all packed in this tiny house, and I just had to play Trivial Pursuit, and I was like one in the family. And I remember. I was like 11 at this time. But I wanted to impress, the people I was acting with. So for some reason, in my dumb 11-year-old brain, I was like, oh yeah, no, I've been in a couple Hot Wheels commercials. Because I wanted them to like be like, oh, he's worked before, which I didn't. Oh man, that seems like a long time ago. And then my first TV, what was my first TV?
You were in a few projects. I was looking at your IMDb, but you had so many.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of like small parts earlier on. So I did like something that no one knows. I did the MTV Movie Awards back in 2014 with Conan O'Brien.
Wow.
Yeah. I got cut, but that was an awesome experience because it was the skit had who was it? Andy Sandberg is that?
I think that's
not Sandberg. That's right. Okay, sorry. So it was Andy Sandberg and Conan O'Brien in the same room, and watching those two guys go back and forth was
all there.
Oh yeah, complete joy. It was a complete joy. Yeah, I don't really remember my first thing though. I could probably figure it out. But
is that your first like big break, like first TV series you ever worked on?
I was on a soap opera called Bull and the Beautiful, which is the hardest experience you'll ever, as an actor. If you want like the most difficult thing you could possibly do, go on to a soap opera. You're doing 2 episodes a day.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, like 120 pages. Those are some of the most hardworking people I've ever seen. And so I was a regular on that for 2 years. And then I got like parts here and there. I was on 911 and I played Freddy. And that was fun because I got to play like a serial killer, which is completely different from Felix. Yeah, so I've done like little parts here and there, but this is definitely probably one of the biggest things I've done so far.
For sure. How has the fan reaction been like to the show? You're a great character on the show, very loyal. What has the fan reaction been like?
It's been super supportive. I'm overjoyed by people liking the character, and they say they can identify with it, and that's amazing. I saw people saying they wish they had a friend like Felix,
That's what I
which I think every
thought.
friend like. He's
Mhm.
a really sweet, amazing, understanding guy, and yeah, the fan reaction has been beyond positive, and I cannot thank them enough for that.
That's fantastic. So what did you do to kind of get into the mindset of Felix? Did you do any like what did you do to get into the mindset?
Um, just kind of be my awkward self, to be honest. I mean, uh, yeah, I getting into a mindset. Yeah, I was just trying to play the jokes
Mhm.
as best as I could, and then playing the jokes kind of just made me fall into the character. How it usually works, and it's different for every single actor, but for me, you read with everybody, and the more you read, the more you go through it, the more you find the character, and the
Mhm.
more you're able to like pinpoint certain just like his mannerisms and how he would say things and stuff like that. And the more you work on the character, naturally, the more you understand it. So yeah, you just kind of fall into it. At least for me. I mean, I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but that's just uh,
I think you do a great job. So how do you relate to Felix? Are you similar to him or different?
my cast thinks I'm similar to him. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think so in definitely some ways. I mean, he's just I I almost don't want to. He's such a lovable, amazing human being that I feel like I'm complimenting myself, like saying, "Oh yeah, I'm exactly like him." but
Definitely.
but I mean, he's really understanding. He's lovable. He's just adorable human being. I
Mhm.
hope I'm like him. I hope I can be as much of a Felix as possible. Definitely.
Definitely. And are you close with your castmates? Like, do you guys hang out? How do you describe the dynamic on set or off set even?
Yeah, we definitely hang out. Yeah, totally. I have not. I mean, I've considered them some of my best friends, and with acting, you meet a lot of people.
Mhm.
Um, so you don't get to say this often, but I truly believe that I'm gonna know these guys for a very long time. And we do a bunch of stuff together right now because of COVID,
Mhm.
and Bella's not in LA right now, so we've been playing a lot of video games.
That's good.
Um, yeah, I mean, we're terrible, but we're trying our best. Um, but yeah, so we just try to hang out as much as possible and
Mhm.
talk as possible, which we've been pretty much succeeding at that. Yeah,
That's a good thing. So to go to a project and have like a group of people you really like get along with and relate to, that's a good feeling.
yeah.
What's like a typical day like on set for you?
Um,
Is it
well,
every day the
well,
same or it's different?
yeah, every day is different. I can tell you how it started. I was always so afraid of um, missing like set. So like being late.
Mhm.
And so what I did is I would stay up all night. I would wait till 5 a.m., which is when the studio opened. I would go to the studio. I would sleep in my trailer and then just try to sleep as much as possible during the day, so that and then I would do the same thing and the same thing. And I did this basically for months on end, which by the way completely messes up your sleep schedule. But I was just so afraid I was going to wake up and then be like, oh my God, I'm 3 hours late and they've been waiting for me. So my day definitely started with me being extremely tired and me downing like 7 or 8 coffees. And yeah, I mean, we would all hang out. I would usually, Michael and me were right next to each other. So I would either be in his trailer, he'd be in mine. And yeah, I mean, after that, every day was completely different. But
Sounds
and
like
that's kind of definitely.
that sounds like an interesting time. That's definitely something I would do. I'm very like to be like on time, like a perfectionist kind of like that. And did you have a
Yep.
favorite scene or episode that you filmed so far? Like one standout one?
Oh man, there's so many. I think the coming out scene
Mhm.
probably was one of my favorite scenes to play. I loved. There's a lot. I loved doing the whole episode with Bella because we really wanted to work with each other, and that was kind of like the first time that we really got scenes, just us individually. So it was super fun to play off her. I loved the prom scene
Yes,
because
that was one.
yeah, because everyone was together. We all got to hang out, which didn't really happen often because we all had our own separate
Mhm.
storylines. so when we were all in one place, that was super exciting. So yeah, I think, but the whole show in general, like pick a scene, I enjoyed being on set, and it was an amazing moment.
Definitely. And of course, I know you and BB's character has a relationship on the show. What do you kind of hope to see if there's a season two? What would you want to see for your two characters?
Ooh, that's a good question. I definitely want to see how Lake adapts to her um, coming out with the fact that Felix and her are together. I think that's going to be really interesting, and I can't wait to see how BB plays that because I know it's going to be fantastic. And yeah, that is what I'm really excited for. I'm excited to see Lake's and Felix's home life and how that affects the
Me too.
relationship. So
Definitely.
yeah, so that's like my two main, I would think.
And you mentioned like a favorite scene or episode before. Do you have like a scene that was most challenging for you, or just one that maybe took a few takes or anything like that?
Ooh, well, okay. So my biggest enemy is the English language. So I couldn't say a couple. I remember two. One of the words I can't remember because I couldn't say it, but it was a type of coffee, and that got cut. That's not there, and I don't blame them. And then simpatico was another word I couldn't say, and I've mentioned this before. I couldn't say that, so that's not there either. So yeah, so there's definitely the challenge was just talking, which
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, so there was just two words there. Acting wise, trying to think, was there any big challenge in
Or
it?
like a behind the scenes secret that's interesting about maybe like a scene
Sure.
take.
Oh well, a behind the scenes secret. Those stairs, they always lead to nowhere. And I always check every single stair that's in a scene. I know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be either a wall or something like that. And I'm always disappointed. But just I'm always imagining, oh, there might be something on the other side, and there's not. But that's something to know.
Yeah. Are you one of those people that can watch like yourself on like screen after you film, or do you kind of find yourself nitpicking like everything?
I always do. I'm a huge critic of myself, and so and I think a lot of actors feel the same way when they watch something. They don't see the character; they see themselves trying to portray a character, and
Hmm.
so um, I think Adam Driver's like this too. And so you know, I mean, I can watch it, but I'll definitely be like in my head about it and like critiquing things.
Hmm.
"Oh, I should have done it this way or something like that. Um, but so I try not to look at stuff too often. Um, but you know, I also enjoy seeing it in its um,
Yeah, for
full
sure.
artistic value and seeing everyone else doing an amazing job. So I always love to look at it.
Definitely. And what can fans expect to see from season two? Do you know anything, or what would you want to see?
Ooh, so what?
I know you probably can't say too much, but
Yeah, or yeah. I mean, if we get a season two, I'd want to see a lot of things. I want to see more of Andrew. I
me
think, yeah, right. He did. Mason did Andrew so beautifully, and I just want to see more scenes with him. I want to be in more scenes with Andrew because I think that dynamic ended on such an interesting note.
too. Hmm.
And I want to see how our relationship like goes forward.
It was with
Um,
when you guys were in the school, right? Like doing the cleaning. Was that the
yeah,
last
yeah, Felix has a big balls, plural. Yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah. So I thought that was a really cool way to end that type of dynamic between us, and
Mhm.
so I want to see where that pushes. I mean, obviously, the burning question: how is Victor's parents going to react? So I really want to see what happens there,
Yeah.
and I think too. So basically, the whole show, I want to see what happens.